What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to speak of them or talk about them or in any way portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. It would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
Hi, I'm Laura Cathcart-Robbins, and I am the host and creator of the podcast, Only One in the Room. Every week, my co-host Scott Slaughter and I invite you to join us and lose yourself in someone's Only One story. The Only One in the Room has a wide variety of guests, from prisoners to abuse survivors to swingers. With 21 seasons and counting, we guarantee that Only One in the Room will have a story that you'll connect with. This podcast is for anyone who has ever felt alone in a room full of people, which is to say that this podcast is for everyone.
Hi, welcome to our catch-up episode. And in true fashion, Meghan and Melisa spent time with toddlers and young children, and so we both got fucking sick.
Yep, we were sick. So you're like, why are y'all catching up? This is supposed to be, but am I wrong? Sorry, not today. I just got back last night. Megan's still sick. We still wanted to give y'all something, so we were like, we'll just catch up today. Yeah,
it'll be way easier. And I'm officially took my first dose of these antibiotics. I'm so thrilled. I was loved that I got to finally check the option and say, have you had more than 3 sinus infections this year? And I got to say, no, because it's 2025 and the year just started. Did I have a sinus infection about 2 weeks prior? Yes, of course.
I feel like it's a year from the day that they're asking, Meghan, not within the year.
Well, tough shit.
I am going to cough real hard now. And I'm cutting all that out. They don't need to hear that.
Oh, for sure.
So you're sick. I'm on the mends. I'm coming up on the tail end of it. I was telling Megan that I had a spicy sandwich last night. It was delicious. It was a banh mi that had beef and shrimp. And the shrimp were this big, and there were a ton
prawns,
of them in
baby.
there. Yeah, there were a ton in there, and it was the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. And then
send me the place's name, because Mom says we've been on a big.
I think it's just called banh mi.
Oh, perfect.
I don't know if it's an actual restaurant. I feel like it is a ghost kitchen, but
of course,
I discovered it before I left because they were having buy one get one free. And when I say these sandwiches are huge, these sandwiches are a foot long.
Okay.
And so then when I came back, I was like, oh, I want that. And putting the shrimp with the beef was a great call. But the spiciness of it really helped me clear out a lot of the phlegm rattling around in my chest.
Yeah. Mine, I was sick when I was there, when I was in Colorado, mostly because these kids are, I love them to death. They're fucking disgusting. Yeah. They both were sick the whole time. Yeah. So I'm the only adult that got sick. But I was definitely oh, I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better. My voice has came back, and I was like, okay, cool. This is great. And then day before yesterday, I was like, ooh, I think I might be feeling a little bit worse. And then yesterday, I quite literally was like just laying in the dark with no sound, my eyes closed, because I had the worst sinus headache of my life. If I like leaned over, I felt like I was going to accidentally somersault. Like it was like, oh, my head is so heavy. And I was just using Mott's as like like one of those like pressure point roller balls. I was using his like knobs of his shoulders to like massage my sinuses. And so I finally got antibiotics, and it took forever. But I have them now, and I'm so looking forward to it. They initially tried to give me doxycycline, which the last time I took that was when I did also have a sinus infection close to another one, because they didn't want to give me the same thing. They gave me like the other kind of amoxicillin or whatever. But the last time I did that, Mott's found me in the bathroom asleep because I just couldn't stop yakking all night. So I'm like, that's not effective.
Yeah. I saw a video of someone taking their Theragun and putting it on their chest and then coughing stuff up. I don't have one of those because I don't like the way they make my brain feel.
No,
but
so by the way,
if you have a vibrator, the very strong vibrator, you could use that.
Good call. I feel the same way about any sort of Theragun or adjacent thing that I don't like how they make my brain feel.
Yeah.
And I told my trainer that, and he goes, okay, so you're never going to do one of these ever again then. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah. So
that was
just don't
opposite.
do it.
Not my current trainer, but my former trainer it was like, he had a small gym and had taught small classes, and he took that and put it on my arm, and I was like, don't ever do that again. And he was like, that's fine, you can take it. And then I just smacked him.
Good. Yeah, no, my trainer was like, no. Some people, if you feel your brain, this is not the right thing for you, because it's not in your head. It's actually quite literally in your head. And I was like, yeah, facts. Oh, we were going to talk about that. How was your flight? Because you did message me and said you had the flight from hell, and I said, wonderful, me too. And now I really want to hear about yours and see if it's similar to mine.
So before we took off, he was like, we're going to have a few bumps. And I was like, great. And we got up in the air immediately shaking for like an hour and a half. Then we dropped real fast.
Oh, fun.
And everybody, like to the point where I was wearing my mask, and I had finally like gotten used to the shakes, and I was like, I'm just being rocked to sleep. And I had dozed off a little bit listening to Cowboy Carter. We dropped real fast. I pop up the whole plane, just like everybody's looking up. I took my mask off because I was ready for the oxygen mask to drop down. It was just a reflex. I was like, Melissa, what the fuck are you doing?
You had to clear that mouth out so you could get the oxygen.
Yeah. And then as soon as we drop, ding, he turns off the fasten seatbelt sign, and everybody's looking like, what the fuck is going on? Even the flight attendant is like, what is going on? She calls him. Flight is smooth the rest of the way.
He just got a little too high. Sorry.
He was like, I'm just going to drop right to where we need to be.
That's so...
And I was like, what the... And then I was just terrified the rest of the way because I was like...
You had no warning.
No.
Yeah, and so
at
then
least
you're like...
tell us.
Yeah, and then... Or being like, sorry about that. So it's like, you don't know that he's not going to do it again.
I was just watching the flight attendant talk to him because she looked scared. I'm always looking at the flight attendants to see what they're doing, because if it's like shaking and they're just walking up and down, I'm like, fine, whatever. But the fact that she looked scared, and she was seasoned too. No, ma'am.
Seasoned. I thought you said seizing. And I was like...
Seasoned.
Holy shit, I think you nearly avoided death. If she's like shaking, she's so panicked.
She looked scared. Like her eyes looked terrified.
Fuck. That's like when you see a scared nurse. And I'm like, if you see an older scared nurse, I'm like, I'm dying.
Right.
This is not good. Wow. So, how long is that flight again?
It's
4?
They
2?
say it's 3.5 hours. It's closer to 3.
Yeah. I never understand every time they say we're making up time. And I'm like, how? Like,
right.
Isn't there like a calculation of like how fast you can fly to like, you have to stay in the air, like all of this stuff. So I'm just like, what do you mean you can just like fly faster?
Right.
Like there's no traffic. And I'm like, okay, I understand like landing and like taxiing, like because like taxiing, whatever. Yeah. Of all of the like other planes landing, of being like, oh, we have to circle, we have to wait for our spot to come up. But when they're like, hey, we're making good time. And I'm like, what? Wow. Like, what is... I don't really want to know.
I don't want to know either. I don't want to know
But I am confused.
It's not my business. But
it's entirely
as long as I
get
get there, it's not my business. Then when we landed, you know that this flight is in the American terminal, that you have to take a fucking...
a tram. It's not even a tram. It's a bus.
It's a bus.
It's a bus.
You
Actually,
have to take
it's
the
a
bus.
small bus. It's kind of like a van.
No, it's a big bus. They've got big
It's a big
buses.
bus?
Yeah, it's a big
okay.
bus.
I've been
It's
on
a
one.
bus.
I've been on kind of a Sprinter van there.
And they it was so foggy last night. And so they couldn't see driving with the planes. So it took me an hour and a half to even get to the main terminal because they couldn't see. I also saw this morning that somebody ran into a fire hydrant because it was so foggy.
2025 is off to a start.
Off to a start. How was your flight? Because you said yours was also terrible. Going through Colorado is just terrible as it is because of the mountains.
Yes. So there's always, but granted, it was beautiful, but there's always turbulence. I'm so used to that because flying out of San Francisco and Oakland, always turbulence too. Yeah. So like, I'm not like startled by a flight starting off with that. So we had the, natural turbulence, but the issue is I think our flight was, I get to the airport and there is a woman not wearing a mask sitting, like I'm sitting
wearing a mask.
No, nobody. So we're sitting in these, like, I don't know, where they've got like the kind of, not like pods, but it's like not like the kind of the bigger chairs and they're in groups of like 2 or 3. So we're in one of those. And like, I always make sure we're in ones that are like not near other people. So we're not directly next to anyone. And there's someone across from us. And then there's a woman in like another set of seats by the window to our right. And that woman is hacking up a fucking lung.
Was so much. So like,
It
I was like, no one has on a mask. And
I'm
y'all are
wearing a mask.
hacking off lungs.
And I'm
lungs.
coughing into my mask.
Yes, same.
And I'm just watching this woman. And Melissa, the way that there's no way her shirt wasn't damp from the coughing into her arm and then coughing into it, it was a wet cough. I was like, ma'am, that's what we would call a productive cough. And I do need you to get a tissue and a mask and then wash your hands. Like, this is disgusting. And so I'm just hearing her nonstop. And I wasn't even hiding it. I literally just kept looking at her like, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then this young guy comes and sits across from us and he's on the phone. And he's like, oh my God, dude, almost missed my flight. Like just barfing my brains out. Like everyone I was with, so sick, shitting and barfing. And then someone else was the flu. And just like talking about how sick everybody is and how they almost didn't make their flight because they were barfing. And I'm like, cool. Also not wearing a mask. And I was like, very fun, very casual, very cool. And I just was like not feeling good. And I was like already kind of like a little nauseous. And I'm like, I'm sick at this point. So I'm like, I've taken the Mucinex. I'm doing everything. But and POTS can make me like nauseous. It's like a very specific kind of nausea where like, it's going to pass, but like, you just have to get through to the other end. And I have to figure out, do I need water? Do I need no more water? Is there too much water in my stomach sloshing around? Do I need salt? Do I need like my beta blockers? Do I need to elevate my legs? Like, what do I need? And so I kind of go through the list and then finally I was like, I need some more food so that I can take some Advil that'll help with my head because I think my head's also like, I'm just getting panicked about feeling sick before I get on a plane. And also those fucking people like nasty near me. So I buy some, it was so nice. It was like a gluten-free, dairy-free little section. I was like, oh, amazing, perfect. I think I spent $15 on like a thing that was like typically what you would think of a size of like one of those like prepackaged grapes of just like pieces of chicken. And I was like, okay, $15, casual. And they had a little skewer that I could eat. Actually, no, it looked like the things that you peel and then there's like the orange yellow cheese and then the sticks you dip in. Or Dunkaroos. Okay. Like that kind of packaging.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I got you.
Yeah.
What you're referring to is Kraft's Handy Stacks.
Oh, yeah. There you go. I knew you would know.
In my household as a child.
As a Kraft family. So we finally get on. I think our plane was delayed. Like they like get on the loudspeaker before we've even gotten on our plane being like, hey, everybody. So like, our plane is going to be delayed a little bit. The plane is not here. And as he's like saying this, we're watching our plane land and attach to our gate. And I'm like, okay, he never corrected himself. So we were all just like, is that our plane? And so we were like probably 20 minutes late or so-ish getting on. We get on the plane and quickly I start to notice that, and it's not alarming at this point, that I'm like, wow, there's a lot of kids on this flight. And we're seated near the back. So we're passing by pretty much everybody. And Melissa, when Mats and I looked at each other, he goes, did I book a children's flight? I never in my life, 30 kids under the age of 2, probably 25 kids under the age of 5, and then I'd say 30 to 40 kids under the age of 8. Like, there were more children on this plane than adults. And the way that some of these families are having so many children, and no offense, but like, I do think once you've popped out the first set of twins, you should know you run the risk that you're going to have double twins.
Twos, yeah.
And I was just like,
mine too.
And then these parents were so lax, and I go, okay, I get it. You probably have to like be chill because you have 2 sets of twins. I would actually say the place to like not be so lax and chill is in the airport when your children are screaming at the top of their lungs.
Yeah. It was funny. The ones on my flight, the double twins, they were with both their parents and their grandmother. And all the 4 of the children, they all looked exactly like the grandmother. But the mom that was the mom of the
the twins?
Yeah, the mom of the
4
twins.
of the twins.
Yes, she did not look like her mother. It
Oh,
was
that's funny.
wild.
Skipped a full generation.
Yeah.
But like, it was to the point where I didn't know that these children had adults on the plane until we got off the plane, because you would have never known. And we also had so many, and this is like this is where I'm just like, this is me being anti-straight couple. All the fucking, hey, I don't know if these couples are straight. They're in straight presenting relationships. Did not have it under control. We had no less than a dozen gay dads. They had that shit on fucking lock.
I love that.
And I was like, and I know this, we're obviously going from Denver to LA. I'm like, yeah, this is the flight of, I was like, this is a flight of children's flight, and then specifically a gay dad flight. And so there's just like a lot of kids. So then we're on the plane, and take in mind, we're already probably like an hour after we were supposed to board. And then he gets on the loudspeaker and he was like, hey, so we're like missing something. And like, we got to figure out what it is, but like, we can't start the plane.
Something as in the plane, not like a pillow.
No. And
Like
also, at this point, Melissa, it doesn't seem like they're sure what it is that they're missing. And they're like, we got to figure this out, but keep you updated. And then it's like, okay, so we figured it out. It is this part that does something that like helps just start the plane. And like, that's all that it does.
That's a lot.
We sit there, I don't know, an hour and a half, almost maybe 2 hours. We were originally on a 3 p.m. flight. This flight was timed for the nap time of the 85 children who were on board. So this was not a pleasant experience, because these kids are now overtired, fucking hungry. And again, turns out they did have parents there, but it didn't feel like they did for all of the flight. So they're just like doing a lot of talking. And then like the ones who are older, they're wearing headphones. And these are rich kids. So they're wearing Apple Pro Max headphones, and they're talking very loudly because they have noise canceling on. And so then the dads are like, honey, okay, yeah, what do you have to say? And then they've split all the families. So, and I think that, I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but also because some of these families have like a bajillion fucking kids, they are spread throughout the plane. So then the kids want to stand up on their seats and then wave to their siblings 7 rows in front of them going, hi! And I'm like, okay, it can be adorable. And the ones right in front of us, it was like a little girl and her brother. They were like very cute. They were really fucking loud, but their dads had it on lock. The second one of them was loud. They're like, okay, we're going to take a little bathroom break. And then they go to the bathroom. And also those parents only gave their kids little backpacks to carry, which I think were ornamental. I don't even know if they had anything in them. I think it was to help them feel important. And they could have carried those backpacks easily if the kids had a tantrum or whatever. So just like hearing that a lot, there was a lot of this little girl sticking her entire face between the seats to wave and say hi to me. And I was like, hi, cute. Like, she was very cute. And I was like, hi. And her dad was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, it's fine. But she also wanted to talk to her brother. And then her other dad was like, honey, shh, shh, shh. So we finally get into the air, and we're like ascending, and I rapidly start feeling like I'm going to pass out. I feel like I'm going to, like, I literally couldn't even get out a full sentence to Mats. I was like, I don't feel good. And like, I'm slurring my words. I was like, I don't feel good. And he just looked at me and like shaked his head. Like he didn't feel good either. And all of the kids start screaming. Everybody starts crying. All of the adults look green. And then like
the pressure was off
for probably 20 minutes or something that we were, maybe it was 10. I could have been, it felt like fucking forever that we were all unwell. Nobody speak. Like even the flight attendants are like buckled in, like just looking queasy. And I was like, I'm going to pass out. Like I fully think I'm going to pass out. And it also kind of similarly feels to like like a POTS episode that is like spurred by nausea. So like, I don't know if this is just a me thing. And it like evens out, but like, you know, you still feel the effects of that. You still feel like pretty shitty. And so because of that, no child stopped screaming or crying for the entire rest of the flight, which was about 2 hours. They were, and Matsu was like, I can't even feel bad. Oh, I actually forgot to tell you the best part. So anytime there was any person on the plane who didn't have a child, aside from Mats and I, those people instead had bare minimum 1 large dog. Sometimes they had 2 dogs. We had 30 fucking dogs. And Mott's like, after we got off the plane, I was like, I wondered if he was going to be like so annoyed about the kids. But he was like, no. You have to travel with your family. You have to travel with your kids, like whatever. People traveling with their fucking huskies, their giant ass fucking dogs. He goes, no, like that's absolutely insane. And like, that's not helping the fact that like with the pressurization on the plane and like the kids and like people who are just like clearly struggling, you elected to bring your animal on this flight. And it, like, he's like, I'm not any service dogs. If any, you got to do that for your own safety and your own health and your well-being. You don't need to bring your Great Dane on this flight. Like, it was fucking ridiculous. So then we also have dogs barking. I swear to God, at a certain point, and I don't know, I never confirmed this, I was convinced there was a ferret on the plane because there was just someone squeaking and it didn't sound like a kid and it didn't sound like a dog. And I was like, there's either a chicken or also a ferret on this fucking plane. And thank God for the noise canceling effects of my AirPod Max, whatever the Pros, AirPod Pros. Because I don't know how I would have survived these. When we finally start deplaning, the 2 dads in front of us, or one dad's in front of us, the other one's next to us with their kids. And they are like, first of all, this kid wanted to sit by himself because he had an empty row at first. And then like someone else came in and he starts screaming. His dad's like, no, I said you could sit by yourself, as in I wasn't going to sit with you. Like, you could sit there by yourself. I'd sit with your sister and your other dad right here. Other people are going to be sitting in these seats. Like, you don't just get this whole row to yourself. We're not that rich, honey. And this kid is like questioning that. I'm like, well, yeah, I would too. You guys have both have, you have very nice headphones and you've got an individual iPad and so does your sister. And so they like buckle their mini backpacks on them. And these kids are like, you know, happy, cute. They're like, we're landed. We are home. I can't wait to be home. And they're like narrating kind of like a children's podcast. And that I'm like, that's fine, whatever. Then I see the family, which I think at this point has just been 2 sets of twins and then 3 additional siblings who I thought were flying alone. No, of course not. Their parents are right there. Parents look completely unfazed. They look like prescription level chill. I was just like, you know, do what you got to do. But also your kid looks like they're going to barf. They've been like crying and screaming so hard. Their face is red, like broken blood vessels. Like they look miserable. We get to baggage claim. Each one of those kids who can, again, oldest one can't be more than 6. Each one of those children has a full adult backpack that they're supposed to be carrying, and a fullest adult checked suitcase they are supposed to be rolling. And the parents have an entire other thing, so they can't control it. Their kids are crossing the street alone. They are smaller than their suitcase. Melissa, it was the most insane thing ever. No, the parents each had a cart. And I go, what? You didn't need to bring this much luggage. This is insane. Each of the parents has probably like 10 pieces of luggage piled like comedy Tom Hanks movie level high. They can hardly see over it. But then the kids are having to cross the street alone, which I go, just wait for your kids. Cross them with them. They are smaller than the suitcases. So it just looks like a suitcase is rolling by itself. And then we are waiting for our Uber and we just hear crash. And I look.
All the way down.
No. There is an SUV who had pulled up to load this family. That was their Uber. And a car smashed into the back of this SUV. Nobody's in the car, just the driver. Like the driver was out helping like load their stuff. But literally, and everybody who's waiting is like, it was all from our terminal. Like we were all like whispering and laughing. We're like, kind of feel like that family. Like just like, yeah, like this is a shit show. And if it's going to happen to anyone, it should happen to this like diabolically chill, overly chill family. But like it was so fucking crazy and ridiculous. And we're watching other people like do Tetris, trying to like shove things into like the back of their like tiny little Ubers. There was like musicians who brought like all of their music equipment. And I'm like, okay, I would like to remind everybody, this was Christmas.
Right.
Like, this was what we were traveling. I don't think we needed the multiple dogs. I don't think we needed all of these suitcases. Like, mail your gifts back like anyone else. It was just fucking insane.
Yeah, that makes my flight sounds delightful.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone. So we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural Then and Now.
Hey, are you interested in horror, but you don't have time to watch the movies? Check out Bloody Good Horror. We're keeping up with what's new, what's hot, we're covering the trends, and we're doing it from a place of love, but we're doing it with a critical eye.
We've seen it all, and it gives us a perspective that helps us when covering the genre.
We're also here for the horror curious, those who might not have the time to get to the theater every week, or if you're just too chicken to watch the blood fly.
Bloody Good Horror comes out every Friday, wherever you get podcasts, and we hope to see you there.
I did forget one part of mine, but that I
thought I was going to die on that plane, and just like because the pressurization.
The pressurization is wild.
I thought I was having an aneurysm.
What they were missing?
No, that's the craziest part. It was like they needed something that like helps that like it ignites. I was like, do you need a lighter to like ignite something?
Right.
Like, is this like your pilot light is off? Like what? Yeah, pilot light, get it, oven, and then yeah, exactly. But no, this true. The thing about the pressurization, like we still felt like shit when we got home. And you just feel like dizzy, vertigo. It feels like all of this other shit.
You're in Colorado as it is, where the pressure is off, period. But then adding that is just messed up.
Yep.
I did forget.
And they never said anything to us, similar to you. Like no one said, hey, sorry about that. So the whole time I was like, and then Mats and I didn't talk about it until we got home. And he was like, yeah, I felt really bad too. And I was like, oh, I thought you were saying like, don't worry, you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, oh, looking back on it, you felt bad too. And I was like, why didn't our pilot say something? Because the whole time I was like, am I going to die when I get off this?
Admit to it, and then it would be on the log. They probably didn't admit to it.
Oh, that's probably why yours did too. And that's what I wondered, because I was like, is it like about, are they trying to avoid turbulence? And so they're like going too high and then
fast.
have to drop too, like it was just so fucking weird.
As I put my, I had like loaded my stuff up in the car, and my mom was like, don't forget to give me the garage door opener, because she had given me her garage door opener. I forgot it was in my purse, which I don't carry my purse with me on the plane. It's in my bag. So I'm saying this as I get out of the car. I was like, this suitcase is on its last leg. I open my suitcase, get the garage door opener out. Can't zip it back up. It's broken. On the way to the airport.
I was about to say, which way to the airport? You're kidding.
Way to the airport. So we had to stop at Walmart real fast to get me a whole new suitcase. And then I am in the parking lot having to move all this stuff out of them. And it's my big ass suitcase. So I was gone for 3 weeks. So it's a lot. And I also, like, I only half packed the suitcase because I knew I was going to get Christmas gifts and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the parking lot and this man in Walmart he comes down the aisle and looks shocked. And I was like, I don't know why this man looks shocked. And he goes, "You're the first black person I've seen." It was black man. First black person I've seen all year. And I was like, I've seen numerous people. I've been in here 2 seconds. I've seen numerous black people in this Walmart.
Wait, so was this January 1st or was this?
No, it was yesterday.
Oh, okay. So was he talking about like
December
2025?
I mean, sorry, January 2nd.
Was he meaning he?
As
Okay.
in all year. But like, I had only been in Walmart for 2 seconds and I had seen numerous black people in Walmart. So I feel like he was trying to have a conversation.
Yeah,
I
he
was
was trying
like,
to
I don't
flirt.
have time for this right now. I head straight. I look on the Walmart.
Also,
app
you
to see-
clearly don't have time for this right now.
No,
Like,
I don't.
Like you can
I'm
so
on
see
the Walmart app trying to figure out where the luggage is, and I'm headed to that aisle. The numbering system in there makes no sense because it's like letters and numbers. So I like just grab the biggest suitcase that I can, sprint. Didn't realize it was like open until like it fell open at one point. Oh God. Get to and look, I am a person that likes to be at the airport 2 hours early, but still, I was like, I gotta like get my shit.
And the way home, you pack tightly. And so it's like your instinct is then to like throw everything in. You're like, no, but if I don't pack it the exact same way, like it's probably not going to fucking fit.
Yep. So I'm in the parking lot, like just moving stuff over. And my mom was like standing there. I'm like, can you please just go sit down? Because she was like hovering. Because I was like, I knew
either
you can't
help
bend
or
down.
move.
And I knew she couldn't bend down to help. So I was just like, please just go sit in the car.
Yep.
And I moved it and I was still, you know, and they're doing construction at this airport too. And a lot of people didn't see where the kiosk was to just check in. And so like I'm thinking like the American line is like out the door because it appeared that way because people didn't see where the fucking kiosks were. And so I just like bink over to the kiosk and get my stuff and then go to like check my bag. And the person's like, the belt for the bag is to move the bag is broken. You need to go down
manually.
I had to like take it to a TSA agent on the other side of the airport. It was wild. But I was like, do y'all not see this kiosk here? Like, you do not have to wait in line.
No, people.
There was like 5 open.
Lose all sense of resourcefulness when they go to the airport, which is crazy because like I'm the most resourceful when I'm at the airport. Like,
me too. I'm like, how can I get in and out as fast as I can? Yeah,
like I know where my gate is. I know where my seat is. I know. And then people just being, where do I go? And I was like, that's insane to me.
Yeah,
like
there's a girl I would say like, she would have had to be like 17, I'd say, because her dad was able to walk her through. So she was like an older teenager, but she didn't know how to put the like tag on because she had done what I did and just checked in at the kiosk.
Oh yeah,
she didn't know how to put the tag on. She's like, and she asked me how to do it. I was like, I don't have time for this. I just stuck it on there real fast. I don't have time to explain it. Just let me do it.
Let me do it. It was just such.
And then her dad was trying to have a conversation with me too. I was just like, sir, let's get in and out.
I find it so odd when people want to be incompetent yet friendly at the airport, and I go, no. I do need you to like if you have the bandwidth to be kind and nice. I love that. I then do need you to get your shit together. I can't have you be incompetent with a smile on your face. Right. That just pisses me off even more.
Me too.
Ugh. Yeah. So it was in Mats and I, he even said, he was like, I should have known because so typically flying out of Denver for Christmas is hell. They redesigned parts of the airport and it's beautiful, but it's like these big marble like walkways.
Yeah.
When I tell you at each gate, they give you about 10 seats. And I'm like, cool. So why such large walkways, nowhere to sit?
Yeah.
So everybody just like sits on the ground. There was a man with his fucking toes out. I mean his toes. He also had a dog with him, but his literal, like his feet, his like hangnail, like
no,
little that hook nail,
no,
yellow toe feet.
No.
And I was like, first of all, you have a fungal infection, sir. Second of all, what shoes were you wearing that you were able to whip these out so quickly?
Probably sandals.
And he's not like cross-legged. He's sitting with like back up against like the walk-avator and his legs just straight out. And so people are having to like walk over his bare feet. I'm like, you're disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I was like, thankfully I was like, you know, this is actually why I'm kind of glad maybe there's less seating because they don't have to sit in there. Oh my God, I didn't even tell you about the flight on the way there, Melissa. Melissa, I questioned in the moment on the way in the flight there if I want a daughter. And in my whole life, I've said, I don't want tons. I'll deal with a son. I don't know how I'll deal with having a straight son. That would be very hard for me. But like, I'll deal with it. But all I've wanted in my life is a daughter. And I interacted with this girl who, to the point where I almost went up to her mother and I wanted to be like, do you need a hug? I'm so sorry. But I was like afraid she's going to be like, does it get better? And I'd be like, so sorry. I'm actually not the person to ask, but that's a unique situation. But like, I almost even said something to this girl to be like, stop being such a fucking bitch. She is a teenager, okay? She's a sophomore in high school. Why do I know this? Because she was talking so goddamn fucking loud. Like so loud. And she was, and I don't fault her for this because I've also been that age and like done similar things. Like, you know, she's wearing her like little low-rise sweatpants, a tiny crop top and a push-up bra. She's like wanting some attention. That's totally fine. I did that too at that age. That's what you do. That's allowed. But she stands up in our very, very small, very crowded gate. There are lots of kids. This is the way there. So there are lots of kids there too who were like trying to like meet other kids who they were like drawing and playing with. And I was like, this is so cute, especially like single parents like traveling alone. And I was like, oh my God, meet cute? Are you guys like gonna get together because your kids are playing? So it's like crowded. Every seat is filled. And this is a lot of seats at this place. And she stands up and starts, you know, marking her cheer routine.
Oh my gosh.
25 minutes of her doing this. And then we start getting, Melissa, we're not even marking within our personal box.
We're going full out.
We're not going full out.
Okay.
But we are
walking through.
We are walking through. And then we start getting to the tumbling section. And we're not fully tumbling, but we are doing almost a full scorpion. And the way I'm like, if she moves one, like everybody's sitting on top of each other. There's bags everywhere. Like there is no room for this. Her family saying nothing. She's talking to her brother. And like it started off with like her and her mom watching like a show on her phone together. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. Like, you know, they're both like enjoying it. And they were quiet. So I was like, lovely. And so she's doing the cheer routine. And then she like turns to her brother and she's like, oh my God, I cannot wait for the competition in Korea. I am going to go to like so many ragers. And her mom just like looks, being like, the look her mom's giving her, being like, don't say that in front of me. And her mom was like, you're not going to ragers. And she screams at the top of her lungs, shut the fuck up, Mom. I will go to a fucking rager. And her mom, all her mom fucking said was, shh, can you please keep your voice down there? And like, let's not use that language. There are kids around. And her mom goes, shh. And so she gets in her mom's face and goes, shh, you shut the fuck up, bitch. Screaming at her mom.
No.
We're all like looking like, what the fuck?
This bitch. She was a senior?
No, sophomore.
Oh my gosh. So she's just going to get worse.
And then she keeps going. She goes, I'm a sophomore. And her mom's like, yeah. And she's saying this like, of course you should let me go to unsupervised, unchaperoned ragers when I'm in Korea for my cheer competition. I'm 16. And her mom goes, exactly, you're 16. That's why I'm not going to fucking let you do that. Like, and also, by the way, and then as soon as like Mats was like, we were talking about it afterwards, and I was like, for the record, Mom doesn't need to worry. She's not going to a competition in Korea. I'm gonna tell you right now. I saw she was marking her routine. She's not good enough. Her team is not fucking good enough to do. Like, I'm telling you right now. And then I went on a whole deep dive of like showing Mats like what I was like, because she's too tall. She's a base, and she's not strong. She's not. I can tell she's not that good of a base. I can tell. And so she's screaming, and then the mom just is like, takes a deep breath, smiles, and like takes a lap just to like cool down. A man leans over to her and her brother, who are still sitting there, and her brother's kind of like, yes, like he's older. He's like probably like 16, 17. He's probably like a senior, and he's like, sis, oh my God. Doesn't say anything to her. This man leans over, and I go, I wonder what this guy's gonna say. And he goes, honey, do you have to be that mean to your mom? And I go, shut the fuck up. You are the husband who's been sitting here watching this whole fucking time?
Oh, I thought it was just a kindly old fellow.
No. That is the husband who hasn't said shit the whole time his daughter's doing a full fucking cheer routine, who hasn't said shit the whole time that she's swearing, cussing at her mom, until her mom has to get up and leave to take a lap because she looked like she was going to fucking cry. And then he goes, can you? And she was like, oh my God, Dad, don't fucking start with me fucking too. And he just goes, okay. And goes back to his iPad.
See, when you were telling it before, when I was like, she's a senior, and you corrected me, as you had said earlier, she was a sophomore. I was like, okay, she's an adult. She can get smacked in the face. No, this is still a child.
Yep.
Maybe she still needs to get smacked in the face.
At least from her brother.
Yes, from somebody her age. I need someone to smack her in the face.
I almost wanted to be like, honey, let's go to the bathroom. I've got to talk to you. Like, I'm just like, I want to like stand over and tower over you in a bathroom stall. I want to intimidate you a little bit to like let you know you can't keep doing this shit. Like, you cannot at all. This looks horrible. This looks so bad. And then she like, when she's like, they're like getting on the plane and we're all boarding, and I go, wonderful, we're on the same flight. Can't wait. So excited. And her mom's like, do you want your sweatshirt? She's like, I don't want my fucking sweatshirt. And I was like, okay. By the way, girl, it's cold. You're going to be cold.
And she's got on a crop top.
And so then they're like boarding the plane. And she's like, wait, Mom, am I not sitting next to you? And she was like, well, you're sitting with your father and your brother. And she's like, well, I want to sit next to you. And so then her mom has to rearrange it. So her daughter, who just literally called her a bitch and screamed at her in the airport, can sit next to her because she wants to sit next to her.
Because she needs her mommy on the plane.
Yeah.
But can be a bitch on the ground.
I was like, I don't know if I want a daughter. And Mom's just like, no, babe, just look over at the cute kids who are like the cute little girls who are coloring. Like, I was like, this is insane to me. It was like, first of all, I would never. Sweetheart, so. Yeah, he was like, I would never. He's like, we wouldn't have a kid who talked to anyone like that. Yeah. And I would never let our kid talk to you like that, let alone anybody. Like, that's not acceptable. Because I'm like, you're allowed to be mad. You're totally allowed to be mad. You're allowed to have feelings. But do you need to scream outside? Go if you didn't do that. But also, yeah, bare minimum, stop swearing in front of all these children. And that's all her mom was asking. Her mom was not like, stop yelling at me.
Or
she
stop
just said,
cursing. But
yeah, please just stop cursing in front of the kids.
Kids, yeah.
And they're going to, and then she was like, and she was like, fuck, just like out of the blue. And her mom was like, sweetie, what? Like, and this was before I think she cursed her mom out. And her mom was like, honey, like, can we not? What's wrong? And she goes, I forgot to put my earrings in. And she was like, oh, okay, well. And she goes, does grandma have earrings? She was like, no, grandma's ears aren't pierced. And she goes, oh my fucking God, I'm going to kill myself. This is the worst fucking day of my life. My ears are going to close up. We're gone for 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 10 days. My earring holes are going to close up. And the mom's looking at her, trying her best not to be like, are you dumb? Like, she's like, no, honey, they'll be fine. You can still put earrings in. And she's like, no, they're not. My life is fucking ruined. And I was like, okay, we can't be loud, cheering in public, and then also be not so great at cheering, and then also be not that intelligent. Like, it's just like...
Pick a struggle.
Yes. It was crazy. It was truly so fucking crazy. And all I wanted to do, and I didn't, obviously, but literally all I wanted to do is walk by her and be like, I wouldn't get your hopes up about that cheer competition. But I didn't. But it was fucking wild. So yeah, I guess I realized I had two very big travel days.
I'm thankful for my flights now.
Well, also, I do think it was like we were so blessed with the last time we went to Colorado. It was like they literally made us like spread out on the plane because there was like...
Yeah, but it was a non-holiday.
No, totally. But I was like, wow, this was such an easy breezy. And then I was like, oh, oops.
Because I used to have to, before there was a direct flight, I always flew through Colorado. And that plane was always empty. Yeah, I was usually going to, because I would either have to fly to Missouri or Tulsa, Oklahoma. So, and they were like in the Missouri airport, like smaller than the Northwest Arkansas airport. Like it is.
Oh my God.
So no one was ever on that flight. So, I get it. But like, this sounds like holiday assholes.
No, and like we've been doing this for years and it's always been like, oh, the plane is really delayed or it's been really bad turbulence or whatever. Like I've never had this many passenger issues in my life. I was waiting for someone. I was like, all we need is like some lady who like sees something on the plane and has to get zip tied to her seat or duct taped to her. I was like, I was just waiting for that. And it was like, nobody was drunk. Like it wasn't like the things you usually think of. Like it was a very unique hellscape that we experienced. But it was so... Like, I will say it gave the rest of passengers, we had so much camaraderie between it because we were all just exchanging like knowing glances, like looking at these people. But I just can't imagine doing a cheer routine and then getting on a flight with the people who just watched you do that for like half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do miss that like level of no shame.
Hey, do you like true crime? Me too. And I know what you're thinking. There's so many true crime pods out there, you've already heard all the stories. Well, what if I were to tell you you're wrong? I'm Leroy Luna, the host of Excuse Me, That's Illegal, the podcast that takes a hardcore look at softcore crime. I've got a back catalog of hundreds of bizarre and hilarious stories just waiting to be heard by you. So come join me. Excuse Me, That's Illegal is available anywhere you get your favorite podcasts, with new episodes dropping on the 10th, 20th, and 30th every month, baby!
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
Bitches on Comics is a bi-monthly interview podcast where we talk to the coolest LGBTQ plus folks and women in comics and pop culture.
Our unique perspectives and welcoming nature have earned us the honor of being named a best comic book podcast by Book Riot, Screen Rant, The Mary Sue, Comic Book Herald, and Comic Book Couples Counseling.
Bitches on Comics is hosted by moi, Monica Estrella Negra, filmmaker, writer, and co-founder of Audrey's Revenge Film.
And me, Essie Fleenor, comic and pop culture nerd and culture critic with writing in The Independent, Vice, Electric Literature, Star Trek, and so much more.
We're also both voting members of Gallica, the Society of LGBTQ plus entertainment critics.
Join Bitches on Comics for in-depth, hilarious, and heartfelt conversations with the likes of Stephanie Williams, Leah Anderson, and the late, great Rachel Pollack.
Listen to Bitches on Comics on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Or tune in at bitchesoncomics.com. New episodes every other Wednesday.
Well, I had a couple things that I wrote down to discuss.
Ooh, perfect.
First, Robbie Williams. He's been in the news lately because Americans don't know who he is. But you brought him up on a But Am I Wrong a long time ago. Because he had something.
No. Shut the fuck up. It's that man?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
I figured you didn't put two and two together because I was like when you initially said it, I was like the singer. You're like, he's a singer. So in case you don't know, he's got a documentary coming out.
But he's not famous enough.
In the UK, he's huge.
No, but why? Let's talk about the big kicker of the movie is he's not famous enough to be a man. He's
a monkey. He's a monkey in this film. And people in the US are like, I don't know who the fuck this is. And you brought him up a while ago because he got mad because of something with COVID restrictions.
No,
I believe
he lied. I just looked it up to jog my memory. He on stage fucked up a performance and then blamed it on having long COVID and then was like, oh, I actually don't have long COVID. I just think it's a really good excuse. And everybody was like, why would you say that and then say that? What? It's not an excuse if you're saying, by the way, I lied. That was just, super weird.
But, I thought it was hilarious that all these people are like, who the fuck is this man? I only know him because of that stupid Millennia song that came out. And that's, all the British people were like, that's his huge song. I think they said it topped 76 in the US. So it wasn't even big in the US, but I remember on TRL, they kept trying to push this song. And I was like, why are they pushing this and talking about this man that nobody knows who the fuck this is? And that's why it was always ingrained in my head who he was. But then somebody was like, he's in the band Take Back. And I did not know that band from anything. I was like, who the hell is that? And they're like, they have that song. Maybe that's not even the name of it. Hold on.
The way that I'm allergic to retaining any information about this man.
Take that. And,
take that.
And I know their song Back for Good, which is one of the songs that I have on my favorites list of random ass songs that I love.
Stop.
But I didn't even know the name of the band or that he was in it. So that's what somebody was like, I think it was Sujia that's on TikTok. She was like, this is where I know him from. And that's all I know. And I was like, oh, well, I love that song, but didn't know he was even in it. But what I know him from was from that millennial stuff they were pushing, and then when you brought him up.
Oh my God.
And you didn't even put together it was the same person.
When I've been seeing the discourse about him, everyone's like, he sings that song of like, and I go, I thought that was Andy Grammer. And everyone's like, well, who's Andy Grammer? And I go, not famous in the UK. And I'm not heard about that. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't know who Andy Grammer is? I thought that song was by Andy Grammer. And then the real kicker is everyone's like, no, you must have heard his song Angels. And I was like, no, literally never heard it in my life. Nope. I click on, the blue comment on TikTok and I go, why is this man covering Jessica Simpson's Angels? Turns out she covered his song Angels. And the only reason why I know that is because of Jessica Simpson. And like the fact that they had to make him a monkey should just be proof to everybody that he is not famous enough in the US for a biopic. And this is why they had to throw a little something in it. Like it's giving, how can we make Lyle Crocodile? Except I do need to be more focused around me as a man. Like, why not just be in the Sing franchise? Like, why not just like do
something?
And I think it's because I think he originally really wanted to play himself. And I'm like, does he have like a really interesting life story? Like, was he on X Factor? Like, is he friends with it? Like, I just can't fathom what is so interesting about this man that I quite literally cannot retain any information about, that he needs his own movie.
I find it hilarious.
And I think he's straight. So like, we're not getting like an Elton John story. So I'm just like, okay. And like, at what age? I don't know. I don't understand him or this whole thing.
So that was one of the things on my list. And then another thing was Balldo. I don't know how I stumbled upon this thing, but it is someone who has created a device where you make your balls a dildo for double penetration. So
I'm trying to
squeeze your balls into this device that is shaped like a cock, but it has like spaces on the end so you can still feel the movement on the side.
Just envision
like a little bullet.
Yes.
A bullet that you stick your balls in. But I don't see how this is comfortable.
No, it looks like a lot of squeezing to get to the point where there's a little bit of like room. But I'm like, can you insert a ball like one by one? Are you stacking them?
I don't understand what's happening. And I feel like this is for people that like to be punched in the dick. Like those type of people. Like this is their thing.
Yeah. And then they always, anytime they get like kicked in the balls, they're like, oh, wow, that hurts so bad. And I'm like, so why do you want a fucking Theragun on your balls in sex?
Right.
How did you see this?
I don't remember how I stumbled upon it. I truly don't.
Okay. Oh my God. Wait, by the way, they have steps of how to put it on. First, you have to ensure your ball hair is trimmed to 1/4 or 5 millimeters. Then apply lube to the balls and the Balldo. Stretch the Balldo over your balls until you feel they are snug, using your thumbs to push each ball in. Then stretch the next 2 rings over to ensure your balls are completely snug and fitted, also enabling your balls to feel hard and ready to go to become a Balldo.
So you have to wait till your balls get hard?
I'm assuming that for the people who enjoy this, the process of putting your balls in must engorge them.
Yeah.
Like, I just have to wonder, I think this is just for you. I don't think you're sticking it anywhere. I can't envision that. Also, like, you would really have to have a very specific anatomy if you're having sex with someone with someone with 2 holes.
Mm-hmm.
You're really gonna have to make sure that like either your dick has to be quite long, you've got to have a pretty long, in between, and then the person you're fucking has got to have a correctly positioned.
Yes.
Like that just feels.
And I truly don't think it's double penetration. I don't think if somebody wants to stick if they're sticking it in something, they're sticking it in something and then stroking their dick.
Yes. Because also, imagine just like feeling that against you. Just being like, what is that? That's so, wow. I I wish you could figure out how you knew this, because this is crazy. Oh my God, there's a ball sex frequently asked questions. Oh my God. They use the word scrotal so much. I can't read it. It makes me nauseous. I hate that word. Allows him to use his balls to penetrate his partner. No way. It encapsulates the balls and presents them, and is specifically designed to cage, and then can be thrusted into a vagina or anus. Effectively, your balls become a second penis. No, they don't. No, they quite literally don't. What's a ballgasm? I'm done.
Did it say, is it when you only are getting stroked on your balls and nowhere else?
Melissa, when the balls pass the wall, quote unquote, inside you, there's a satisfying plop feeling, and the balls can be clearly felt locking in, kind of like a butt plug. Nope. There's nothing sexually arousing about the term plop in any instance.
No, thank you.
Nope. Well, thanks for sharing that one.
You're
I'm
welcome.
actually scarred for fucking life.
But we can move on to a better topic, like the Beyoncé Bowl.
I've watched it no less than 15 times.
Me too. I literally, I was only watching that game to get to the Beyoncé Bowl.
Yeah, you watched the fucking Pentatonics opener.
I didn't watch it. I just knew that they talked about it. First of all, I want to say Netflix. I appreciate the people that you had doing commentary. They weren't a bunch of old men that were annoying.
I didn't watch the Netflix version. I mean, I watched it without the. Watch the YouTube version.
Gotcha. So they had more women on than men that were on the sidelines or in the studio. And it was two guys that were very just like chill. They weren't even talking the most. And I just love hearing women talk sports. I loved it. It was great. And it didn't feel like a bunch of people just like trying to one up each other and talk about the good old days. It was great. And then the Beyoncé Bowl was perfect. I watched it, stopped it. Even my dad, he was in the other room. He came in and watched. He was watching like actual games. I think he was more into basketball. So basketball was on the day. So he was watching basketball. But then he heard Beyoncé. He came in and sat down and mesmerized. Incredible. Like,
she just gets better.
Like,
which is
better
crazy. Like, her vocal, like, nobody can out-sing their own album.
No.
And then she does it, and then it's like, what do you mean?
You don't go into a Beyonce concert or viewing, whatever it is, performance thinking, I want her to stick to the album version.
No.
Because a lot of people, like, go to their concerts, and you're like, why are they doing more than what they're doing on the album? This just sounds a mess. No. She gives us a full ass, like, it just takes it to a different level.
No, it was crazy. And like the visuals were phenomenal. The dancers were fucking phenomenal. Like everything, the transitions, like I saw some of the behind the scenes of her, like just like dabbing her sweat while like running.
I was going to say the videos of people, Mecca was there. And then other people that were there and seeing like what was happening in the shots and what was happening around, not in the frame that we were seeing. I was like, this woman's incredible.
She's insane. I skimmed it to see if I could have my nephew watch it with me because we have been talking about how Beyonce is going to perform and he was very excited.
Well, it was on Netflix. I knew it would be kid friendly.
Yeah, so I assumed, and even if it wasn't, I was like, if it's either on Netflix or if it even was airing on like NFL, it has to be family friendly.
Yep.
And so I like skimmed it and I like asked his mom. And I was like, so like I would not say there's like any like overt sexual dancing or like anything like that. Like there's no lyrics.
She doesn't really do that except for like a couple songs.
Yeah,
and
I was like,
and I perform those a lot anymore.
I couldn't even think of a song, and I was like, I can't even think of a song on this album that would
partition.
No, would warrant that at all. And I was like, the only thing is that like, you know, she has boobs, and she was like, he's familiar with boobs. I don't care. And I was like, okay, I thought so, but I just wanted to like, you know, make sure. And so I asked him if he wanted to watch it with me, and he was like, yeah. And he's like bouncing off the fucking walls because he has a little sister who is, she's the yummiest. She is so fucking adorable. I'm addicted to her. But he is having a very hard time sharing attention with her. So he has just like, he's like being the biggest ham ever. Like he's just not nonstop. I put the Beyoncé Bowl on. He sits down, silent. eyes
Same
locked.
with the kids, because I replayed it when Melanie came over, because she had missed it because they were actually driving over when it was happening. So we replayed it, and they all just sat down, locked in.
Because like she's phenomenal, and when he was like, he asks 1,000 questions about like everything, but he was just like enjoying it. But I did tell him, and I was like, oh, so do you see this girl dancing who has the braids and she's not wearing the blonde wig and she doesn't have a hat on? That is Beyonce's daughter. Her name is Blue Ivy. And then he was like, Blue Ivy is very tall. And I was like, yeah. I was like, Blue Ivy's dad is tall. And he goes, is Blue Ivy's dad in here? And I was like, no. He goes, just Beyonce and Blue Ivy. And I was like, yeah, this is just Beyonce and Blue Ivy. If her dad shows up, I'll tell you, but he's not here. And when Post Malone came on, and he was not in Shiboozy. When Post Malone came on, he quite literally used his hands thinking he could swipe him off the screen and said, can you put Blue Ivy back? And I said, this is they're performing.
Interactive.
We can't do that. Like, she'll be coming soon. And he's like trying to like crane his head as if he can see around Post Malone. And he was like, I like Blue Ivy. And I was like, yeah, Blue Ivy is great. And I was like, I was like, did you like Post Malone? He goes, quite these verbatim. Not as much. I liked Blue Ivy. And I was like, there you go. There you go. But we watched it probably like 3 times. And before we even watched it the first time, he was like, I was like telling him about it, and I was like, I really hope she plays my favorite song. And he was like, what's your favorite song? And I was like, you know my favorite song. And he goes, yeah. And then he kept being like, I hope she plays Yeah for you. I hope she plays Yeah for you. And of course, she did. And it was so good. And now my little niece loves Yeah. She's into it. And this album specifically, but these performances, has completely changed my nephew as a dancer. And everyone in the family is like, the Beyoncé Bowl did something to, like,
is he bucking?
Like, he's going so hard in because we have dance parties all the time. And like, he'll put on Yaya and like straight face, not smiling at all. He's just like, and I'm like, get it, boy. But yeah, he could not understand why there was football at the Beyoncé Bowl.
Have you showed him Baychella? They call it Baychella, but her name is B.
I know.
Baychella yet? Have you seen it?
No, I've seen it.
I mean,
I haven't
like,
shown
for
him. I need to rewatch it to see if
there's nothing
like,
in there. No.
Okay, because Coachella usually like they let you go a little bit.
No. There's
more.
Nothing.
We did watch some old, her old Super Bowl performance then, and then we watched.
Which one?
We watched
the one that was hers, and then like Destiny's Child showed up, or the one that was, what's his name? And then her and Bruno Mars showed up. But only
you know how I feel about Bruno Mars.
I know, but that one is so
no,
good,
it's still great. It's still great. But I opted for Destiny's Child because he asked, because he said, well, he kept saying like, he was like, how is Beyonce like when he saw, he was like, how long is it? I was like 14 minutes. And he was like, how is she going to sing all of her songs? And I was like, she's not. And he was like, they're not letting her sing all of her songs. And I was like, well, my dude, she has been famous. I was like, she has been famous for so long. I was like, she has a lot of songs. And he was like, how long has she been doing this? And I was like, for most of my life. Like and I was telling him, I was like,
all.
Yeah, I was like she was singing when she was a kid, and then when she was a teenager, she was in like a really big group, and I was like, all that stuff. I have to say though, Destiny's Child, there's not a single music video I can show him at this age.
You can show him Bills. Like the ones when they're still teenagers, you can show it to them.
Okay, I didn't check Bills.
Yeah,
I
you
checked
can show them
pretty
Bills,
much
Bills,
everything
Bills.
else.
You can show them Bugaboo. Like those are.
Oh, you're
fun.
right. I can do the young ones.
Yeah.
But he like really wanted to see. He also wanted to know if Beyonce had any
you can show
sisters.
him Bootylicious.
I wondered. I need to ask his mom. The lyrics in that one.
Yeah, the lyrics, but like.
Yeah, because I'm like, first of all, he'll be hilarious. He goes to school and just like says bootylicious. Like that's funny.
That's true.
Bootylicious also isn't like. That's still like a somewhat. It's like a kid appropriate way of saying butt.
Literally,
it's booty.
Yeah.
It's like your tushy. Like, so I think they'd be fine with that. But like, yeah, he loves it. And his sister, her like the one song she like loves more than anything is Hot to Go. If she's like upset, you put on Hot to Go or whatever. And she's just like starts beaming and like just shaking that thing. Now you put on Yaya, and she's also very much enjoying it. But he also loved Blackbird. And then he said, that is so nice that the Beatles let her sing their song. Do you think her song is better? I was like, we can't get into that.
No.
But we can't get into that.
I love the video you posted on TikTok. It was so cute.
He was so quick with it. Should I play the audio for people if they haven't seen it yet? Go to my TikTok, but I'll just play the audio. I've watched this no less than 1,000 fucking times. Like, it makes me so happy.
Every time, because I comment on it, so a lot of people are like liking it. Every time I get a notification that somebody liked it, then I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's so cute.
What is more interesting, football or Beyonce?
Beyonce.
Yeah, facts.
Why did they want to play football?
I don't know why they wanted to play football at a Beyonce concert. They should have just had the Beyonce concert.
I was like when it had like 1,000 views or something, Mecca reposted it, and I was like, oh, this is about
Here we
to.
go.
People are about to love it. And it was just like, he's like so cute. And he's like never learned anybody's name faster than Beyonce and Blue Ivy. Like, he's obsessed. And like, he loves that. Like, I was like, yeah, that's her daughter. And he thought that was so cool that she like went on tour with her and like danced. And I was like, yeah, it's like a family business. How fun is that? I asked him, I was like, if you were on tour, would you let your little sister dance? And he was like, she is a baby. And I was like, granted, she does like, she like holds onto a wall or a table and then does that baby dance where you just like squat and shake, and shake your butt. And he never did that. He always had this like, his dancing was so fucking funny. He had this like blank stare and then rocking side to side. And I'm like, what? Like, I'd never seen a kid dance like that. And like, she dances like a typical baby you see in those viral videos. He would literally just stand there like the fucking Shining twins and just like sway from foot to foot with no smile. And he was having the time of his life. I'm like, he was such like a, I was like, I wonder if she's going to surprise us with her personality, because like he definitely made you earn it. And now he's like the biggest fucking ham in the world. Like, class clown, like he's just making jokes all the time.
I'm Brennan Storr.
I'm Paul Bestall.
We're the Ghost Story Guys.
And every 2 weeks we explore first-person stories of encounters with the paranormal from all around the world.
Then we have some fun reacting to those stories. We like to say our goal is to scare the hell out of you, then make you laugh.
Belief in the paranormal is not required. All you need is a love of great storytelling and curiosity about the world around you.
Come find the Ghost Story Guys on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else fine podcasts live, or at ghoststoryguys.com.
Hey everyone, join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to see you next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
We also played a ton of Trivial Pursuit. Melissa, this family, there's like 5 different variations of Trivial Pursuit that I didn't find out until after we had gotten the original.
Yeah.
And they're asking the questions, and I go, I don't know who any of these people. I can't answer a single question. And they're like, well, this happened in 1970. I go, wasn't alive. Like, there was not a question that occurred for anything. The only time I got an answer was something about like, what's like the something saint. And every question's written like a fucking riddle.
Yep.
And it's not. And I'm not good at those questions. I need you to be literal, because I'm gonna be fucking literal. And I was like, a Saint Christopher? And it was like, oh, you got it right. And I was like, that's insane that I got one right. And then we were on teams though, so we had to split up. And then the other one I got right was like some man, an unlikely place, where did he build his library? And I said, a bathroom. Men love to shit for hours. And that was correct.
Great.
And I was like, I don't know who that is. But he would read, our nephew, he would read the questions as much as he could and read the answers. When I tell you, the original Trivial Pursuit did not age well. And you have a 5-year-old sounding out how to say words that you go, no.
My family's not really a game family. We love playing the game of life. And then that was about it.
Oh my God. We played that so fucking much. And he literally said, life is so exciting. I was like, put you in a commercial.
Love that. My aunt Maxine loved games, so she had like walls and walls of games. And Trivial Pursuit was there. I don't think I ever saw her actually play it because it's
a labor-intensive game.
It's a labor-intensive game, but I would sit and read the questions and then just read the answers and just lock it into my brain. So then I had random facts to say all the time. But I thought it was wild. So me and
I did that.
and your
That's so
nephew
true.
are, one and the same.
I literally was just reading the questions to read the answers because I was like, I just want to know these fun facts.
Right.
But the same reason why we have Trivial Pursuit is like Matza's family's not a game family, but one of his aunts, one of his mom's sisters is. And so that's why they have it. But then the next night they were like, oh yeah, there's like I think they said there's a 90s Trivial Pursuit in there. And I was like, and you made me play the one from 1960? Like, you bitches. But hearing him like just try and sound out words. Oh my God, by the way, one of them was about Dick Van Dyke. And him sounding out the words Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, yeah.
And we're trying so hard not to laugh because we're like, we want to encourage him. He's a great reader. Like it's impeccable that he can do this. He like just turned 5. But we also don't want to like have him associate those things or whatever. But like anytime someone got, he like, correct, like you did it. And then there's ones about oh my God, there's literally one that you had just fucking told me. Like it was about something about a soap. Something about like the first, I don't know if it was the first something. And I was like, Melissa and I literally had this conversation and like, I can't for the life of me fucking remember. And it was between 2 that my answer was. And then we picked the other one and it was the other. And I was like, okay, so I did somewhat retain a bit of it, but it was...
Why don't you take a picture and send it to me?
I think I have a video of one of them and it's going to be in the vlog and I'll show you.
Okay. I've always watched the vlog.
But it was so funny. And then I tried to get him to watch some movies with me. We tried to watch The Polar Express. This kid could not handle it. It was too stressful.
We watched it. I've never seen it before.
What
I
did
watched
you
it
think?
because Noah's obsessed with it.
No. That's my dude right there. It's a
Obsessed.
fucking great movie.
And he'll be like, watch this part. That kid's going to run after the train and face plant.
Yeah, see, my nephew was so stressed out. He literally kept grabbing his head going, oh no, why are they doing these things? They're not so, this is not smart. This is not the grown-ups told them not to do that. And I was like, okay.
No,
so we had to turn it off.
So it's a little...
Yeah. And I was like,
different
I guess it is a stressful movie.
Yeah.
Did you like it? No.
It was just there. I wouldn't say I liked it or disliked it. It was just there.
You're not a big Christmas movie like person in general, though.
But I will be watching Red, whatever that Rock and Lucy Liu. It's free on Prime now.
Oh,
so
perfect. I think it has 20% on Rotten
Yep,
Tomatoes,
it's
which is
gonna
my
be awful.
sweet spot.
I made a list of movies that I'm going to watch that I either haven't seen in a long time or want to watch, and I put Glitter as number 1.
Oh my God, I've never seen Glitter.
I've never seen it, and I feel like it's pretty. I think it's going to be pretty good. And the thing is, I don't think it's available anywhere except for a ripped copy that's on YouTube.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Wait, I remember seeing the DVD of it and then being like, oh, you're not allowed to watch that. And I'm like, it's called Glitter. I love the cover. It's Mariah Carey. Let me watch Glitter. I should watch that too.
Yep.
Wait, but this reminds me. Do you know what we watched last night? Because Mats has never seen it.
What?
You're never going to believe what this is.
Okay.
The
Maybe
fact
I
that,
haven't seen it.
No, Melissa. There is quite literally, this movie has shaped my entire, I've seen it, I can't even count, no less than 200 times.
Okay.
One of my favorite movies, and it never even crossed my mind that he would have never watched it.
Okay.
White Chicks.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I've seen enough clips. I know what it's about.
No. Also, how? Melissa, first of all, the fashion is so good. Every girl in the has the greatest outfits. It is so fucking funny. You know, I ride so hard for that family.
I know, but a lot of their movies I don't like. I love them as a
I don't
whole.
like Scary Movie.
I don't like that kind of movie.
No, White Chicks is different.
Making My Way Downtown. I know. I feel like
you've seen.
I know what the movie is. I've seen enough of it.
Oh my God. I can't, I'm on an island. By the way, Mats is watching this with me. He's enjoying
I haven't
it.
seen it. I've heard the whole thing.
Oh, you've heard other people.
No. My downstairs at the house, like when I was in high school, it had like this huge, massive room that like half of it was like a living room and the other half it was like an office, and like the middle part was like the game area. But we moved all this stuff and just made it our tumbling path, so me and Melanie would just tumble down there. But anyway, I would be sitting at the computer and my dad had a bootleg of it that he had got at the barber shop. I have heard the whole movie.
Melissa, it is, first of all, they're so hot in this movie. Like,
yeah, but they're...
No, but he gets out at one point and he puts on a little tan linen suit.
I'd rather just watch their TV show that they had.
I will say, it is so... You've seen Legally Blonde, right?
Brothers, huh?
You've seen Legally Blonde, right?
Yes.
So one of the girls who plays the sorority sister with like the short, darker hair, she plays one of the friends.
Who that is, yeah.
She's so good in everything. Like everyone in this movie.
I literally saw a TikTok a couple days ago of somebody like showing everything that she's been in, and people were like, "I love her," but I didn't realize this was the same person.
Yes, no, she's phenomenal in everything. But this movie specifically is like, it doesn't give you a moment to breathe. Every character they write is funny. Nobody is the straight man, and like this script is like nonstop funny. And like I was just sitting there, and like I really just wanted to show Mods. I'm not even looking at my phone. I am like belly laughing the whole time. He's like, he goes, "Oh my God, you really love this movie." And I was like, "No, I like really do." And then I was like, "Have you ever seen Hot Chick?" And he was like, "No." And I'm like, why was I watching these Hot Chick, without a doubt, I'm sure did not age well. It's also Rob Schneider. But like, what do you mean that like you Mods have never seen this whatsoever? And like I'm telling him, I was like, "Yeah, it's Busy Phillips, that's Jamie King." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it's just so good. So fucking funny. And like so well done. And like great stunts, by the way, too. I was like, damn, like this is pretty good. But it also has aged well. And like I will say that like a lot, well, I actually haven't seen Scary Movie, so I can't make a claim like that. But a lot of like...
I saw a Scary Movie recently.
Did not age well.
I didn't like it. Period. Like I don't like those movies.
I don't like Scary Movie. I don't think this falls into that category.
Scary Movie is the funniest movie ever invented. And
Ty shouldn't tell people
those
that.
Movies. And we sat down and watched one of them. And it wasn't Scary Movie 1. He thought it was a specific one, but it was a different one that he and
yeah, there's too many.
There's too many, and it was probably the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't find those movies
and we
funny.
ended up turning it off. Me and Samantha were like, no.
Well, because like to me, that's just like it gives like improv bit. Like, but why? Like everybody, please bully Melissa and tell her to watch it.
I'm not going to.
I am shocked. Both you and Mods. It's like childhood. He was like, "How old were you when you watched this?" I was like 11.
5, but you couldn't watch Glitter.
No, Melissa.
That makes zero sense.
I actually don't even know who showed me this for the first time. I definitely didn't watch it with the adults in my life, but like I think they probably just saw a movie with 2 white women on the poster and they said, "Okay, go for it." And I said, "Ha ha ha, you don't know. I know what you don't." But like, oh my God, I can't even stress how hot they look in this. And it's just like a perfect movie. Okay. So I just recommend it to everybody. I loved it, and I'm shocked. I've been showing him so many like flawless movies, and then he did show me. He never saw We Are the Millers.
I've seen that, but I feel like it was on at like a party.
It's on all the time. It gives me hangover vibes.
I sat down to watch it, but I think it was just on. But I've seen it.
And he enjoyed that. And I was like, it's like Hangover-esque. I was like, Jason Bateman's not in this movie, but like it has Jason Bateman vibes. And then he showed me Spy with Melissa McCarthy, which I loved.
I saw that in the theater a couple times.
I wish I did.
I fucking love Spy.
That
was a great movie.
Funny. And I was like, we need a sequel of Spy. But I just like love Melissa McCarthy.
Me
to
too.
Death. And her and Jason Statham together, like fantastic fucking chemistry. Like so funny. Rose
Byrne, yes.
Byrne? Is that how you said the last name?
Yes.
Rose Byrne, like, they're all just, like, so good together.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not seen her. I haven't seen Love and Thunder, but I've heard that her and Octavia Spencer, like, are, like, really get along and are friends.
They're best friends. Like, they came up in the industry together.
They're like friends.
Yes.
And so that was like the first introduction that when I didn't know they were friends until they started promoting that together. And they're like, oh my God, we've been friends for years. Like, this is so fun. And I was like, perfect. Add her into the mix. She has such great comedic chemistry with all of these people. And I'm like, why can't we have Spy too? Like, I need that.
Like, everybody loves Spy.
Like, it was so, and I looked at the reviews, like, it was like, it did so well. And then I thought, you know who needs to be this combined with? Throw Sandra Bullock in there. I would love a buddy comedy. Spy, Sandra Bullock, and Melissa McCarthy. And Octavia Spencer. Like, that's so good. So I loved that. Well, that is our updates. That's where we've been. That's our catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what movies we should watch.
I got a little joke for you.
Oh, it looks like you're reading. Did you write this joke down?
I'm not reading. I'm looking directly at you.
Okay.
What did one tampon say to the other?
I don't know.
Nothing. They were both stuck up cunts.
Hey, I like that.
Yes.
I like that one. That's pretty good.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Tomorrow we will have a See You Next Tuesday, and we'll have Don't Blame Me this week. Just know but am I wrong. Hope you enjoyed.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Goodbye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Laureau, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey there, it's Rachel Ballinger, and I am extremely excited to invite you to Rachel Uncensored. It's my podcast where I sit down and get real with my friends and celebrity guests, where we talk about all sorts of topics. And sometimes we might be under the influence when we do so. We cover things from personal stories to hot button issues. And it's the only place on the internet you can find an uncensored version of me. It's a side of me that you might not have seen before because it's not the most family or brand friendly. But don't worry, I'm still sort of slightly a decent human being. If you're intrigued, then make sure you check it out. New episodes drop every Wednesday. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the fun and candid conversations we have here on Rachel Uncensored.